Welcome Ala, who's a software engineer at Yahoo and the head of the Yahoo Developer Network.
No,
No?
just software engineer.
Just a software engineer.
Hello, my name's Ibrahim. I'm a software engineer at Yahoo. My main work is PHP, and I do some JavaScript and HTML at sometimes during my work. So today I'm going to talk about YUI 3. YUI 3 is the Yahoo user interface library. It's a framework for JavaScript and CSS, also some other stuff, but mainly with JavaScript and CSS. What's YUI 3? Why should I use YUI 3? YUI 3 is a complete framework. It's a complete JavaScript framework that you can use to develop JavaScript and CSS to your site without the need to download these libraries at your web server. You can use them from our CDN directly. YUI 3 is sandboxed by default, so you can use it with any other framework that you like. For example, if you are using jQuery, you don't have to stop using jQuery in order to use YUI. You can use YUI while using any other framework. It has its own namespace, so it wouldn't affect any other JavaScript that you will find in your code. It's the way the code is written is neat, so you will have cleaner JavaScript when you use it. I'm going to skip this talk and start directly with YUI and how to use it. So, in the beginning, what do I need to use YUI? All you need is just to include this script tag. This is from our CDN. yui.yahooapis.com/3.3.0 is the version. Then build YUI and YUI min.js. This will load the main YUI library, so you can start using it, start developing with it. To start developing with it. So after that, anything that you would need would be dynamically loaded. You don't need to load any other library. It will be loaded for you. So I will start my code as yui.use node. Node is a component in YUI I would like to use. So I don't have to include the node JavaScript files. It will be included for me. At this stage, then node will be ready. For example, here I'm using node and IO library. They will be available just by mentioning that I want to use them. So I will start at the beginning with the node. The node interface is mainly it's one of the most important interfaces for dealing with web pages. The main function that we can use, I'm not sure if it's looking good here, y.1. One will bring me the component that I need. For example, here hash main. Hash main means the element that has the ID main. You can also use it with direct HTML calls, direct DOM calls like document.body. The one interface takes the query selector interface from W3C. It's the same. I guess jQuery also use it, and most of the frameworks use this language to query any part of the page. For example, here I'm going to use, I think I picked the wrong color. Y.1 foo, I'm getting the node that has the ID foo. Then node.get, this is get here, parent node. So I'm accessing the parent node. Any HTML property I can access for any element by using the function get. For example, here var HTML I am not.get ID. My parent is parent.get ID. Then I'm going to put the inner HTML using the set, node.set. Also, the other thing is that node has another thing. It's called node list. Node list is not just only one node, not just one element, but an array of elements. They can all behave as one element. I can call them by using the all function, y.all hash demo li. This means that all the li elements under the element which has the ID demo dot add class. I want to add a class to all these elements, for example, bar. Also, any HTML function that returns an array of elements will also be counted as a node list. For example, demo.getChildren, this one will return an array of elements. So I can also use it as it's a node list and put a function like add class bar to all of it. Okay, now for the events. The event system in the YUI is neat and easy to use. For example, here I just want to add a function, the onClick on a node. So y.1, I'm sorry for the color, demo.onClick. Then I provide the function. The function, the first one is the event e.prevent prevent default, so it would prevent any default action that should happen by that action, that event itself, and I will do the alert. Also, I can access the element that I need using the e.target. So if I'm having this event for more than one component, I'm sorry. Okay. So if I want to access the element that has this event, I would use the e.target. This, okay. Also, the other thing I can, and another way to do it is to put the event on any tag that I want. For example, y.1 click the function handle click, and then hash demo. It will be the selector for whatever element. Now, the nice thing about this is that I can use multiple selectors for more than one element. For example, I would put click on demo and foo. Also, I can put more than one event to have the same handler, like click or double click. The last part I wanted to talk about here is the CSS grids. Anyone who has been developing HTML will have a lot of problem dealing with CSS and how he should put every div, and every div have to be in its position. CSS grids is a nice way to handle that for you. I think some of you have used some other components like 960. It's almost the same. You have classes. The first thing you need to include is the grids min CSS, and after that you would put your components. It's easily named. For example, U-1 means that it will take all the space. -1, -2 means half the space. -1, 3, it's 1/3 of the space, 2/3 of the space, until 24 you have these values. So I'm going to show you some other examples about YUI that you can see. Just a second. Okay. All right. Also, you can go to the developer.yahoo.com. I'm not sure. The developer.yahoo.com/YUI3. You have a full documentation for every component that's there, and you can read about it. You can find some examples. Okay, I'm sorry. You can find some examples here for any component that you would need. I've built, also there's another thing, it's the gallery, YUI3 gallery. Not all the components that you can use is built by Yahoo. If you are a developer and you find some component, or you want to build some component, you can submit it to the YUI3 gallery. I have an example here for one of the usages that might be useful for the people in the Arab world. It's called the auto by die. Just a second. This one is an input field validator that switches the direction of the text inbox depending on what's written in there. For example, if I'm writing in English, it's left to right. If I'm writing in Arabic or any other language that's RTL, it will switch the direction automatically. The code for that is quite simple. Sorry. The code is quite simple here. All I include is autobydie.plug this plugin. I put this plugin on all the inputs that have the class autobydie. Then all of these inputs will have the capability of switching upon the input of the user, switching the direction. Also, one of the other things that's really cool about YUI is the JSONP module. The JSONP module, if you know what JSONP is, it's like this callback JSON that a lot of services use. For example, like Twitter. Here I'm just using the Twitter API and I'm doing the call for it. So these are my tweets. The code also is quite simple. Okay. I'm just putting here the URL that I want to call and the response, and after that, all the JSON component will be available. So there are also a lot of other nice components. For example, the dial component that should also work on Android phones and iPhones. It's a basic dial that you can use. It's pretty neat. Okay. Just a second. So here it's some kind of input value that I can just rotate around. It might be useful for mobile phones, for those who develop for mobiles. So I guess this will set my presentation. So if you have any question, please. Yeah.
What does the YUI offer other than JavaScript libraries such as jQuery, Dojo, or Prototype? What does it offer for us as extras so we can use it? What's the motivation for us to use YUI?
Well, the first thing that's hosted on Yahoo CDN. This is one of the good parts about YUI. So you don't have to include anything, and it will load fast on any browser. Also, any
Most other libraries, like they are all hosted on Google CDN.
yeah, Google had added them to their CDN, but this wasn't the case like a couple of years ago. The other thing is that YUI is strictly using standard JavaScript. This is one of the cool things that some people actually installed YUI on Node.js for server-side JavaScripting. You will guarantee that it's a standard JavaScript, not any modification. For example, there's the dollar function, the $sign function that's used in a lot of the JavaScript frameworks, which is actually not a standard JavaScript. In standard JavaScript, you shouldn't call a function with a $sign. So this is one of the things. Also, the loader, you don't have to worry much about it. And especially if you're a JavaScript developer, you will enjoy developing with YUI. Now, it's not it's the best thing that ever happened. You might find some usefulness in other languages, like and other libraries, like jQuery is very simple to use. Why not use it? The thing is, it depends on how you use JavaScript and how you need it. If you need simple components, yeah, we'll go with jQuery directly. But if you need some advanced JavaScripting, for example, I built this example like in half an hour a month ago. I'm a Sudoku player, so it helps me a lot. This is all in YUI. It's like 140 lines of code, all of just logic that I can use to mark my points in a Sudoku game. This is actually a little bit more than simple JavaScript that you need. You need a little bit more advanced, so I went with YUI for that. I hope that answers.
As think I'll have to add something to your answer, which is that once you load the YUI library, you are actually loading the core components of the whole thing. So basically, you're loading a small file in terms of size, and then once you call the use function to include other libraries, they are downloaded to the user's browser. So basically, you're limiting the size of data that you have to transfer to the user's browser. So basically, that's one of the let's say one of the rules for performance. Yes, that's about it.
Well, I see the usefulness in enterprise applications maybe because you have the dependency management and the other stuff. But in normal websites, you can just aggregate all your JavaScript in one file, and you don't have the use for those features. But maybe they are useful in case of enterprise applications.
Well, actually, YUI does that for you. If I take a look here at the calls that I made for this, there's the simple YUI min, and after that there's the combo that will put all your JavaScript in one request for you. Any other question?
Two questions. Is it compatible with all web browsers?
Well, actually, all web browsers are a little bit hard. What we have is graded support. So we have these browsers that we grade. There's a grade for that. This is the page here. It would tell you what browser and how's the support. We have 3 grades, A, C, and X. A means that it's fully functional on these browsers. These are the most common browsers. 96% of the internet users use these browsers, from WebKit or Safari, Firefox, IE. These are the main browsers. We have the C browsers. They are the browsers that we used to support, but we don't anymore. For example, IE versions before 5, for example. We don't support that anymore. It might work on them. It should actually work, but not in the same experience. If you go also the X means that, okay, we don't know yet. We haven't tested it. You can provide input on that.
My second question, what is the next step in YUI?
I'm not quite sure I understand.
What is the future of YUI? What will we see in 1 or 2 years in YUI?
Well, actually, there are some things that have been working on. We are also migrating everything from YUI 2, so you will have a lot of more components, a lot of more widgets that you can use. Also, as I said before, it's because it's standard. Some people now are working on putting it on Node.js servers, so you can also write your JavaScript code on the server side instead of using a different language.
Can user upload their components?
What?
As a developer, can I upload my components?
Yeah, sure. You can submit it to the YUI gallery, and also they will be hosted on the CDN.
Thank you, Ala.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.